Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and the Beautiful. Liam hits Steffy with Whopper of a dying request. Bold and the Beautiful is squeezing all they can out of Liam Spencer's death sentence, starting with his time with Steffy Forrester and using flashbacks of their special times together on the CBS soap. Soon, Hope Logan gets her turn. She doesn't know yet that Liam is dying, but during Liam's time with Steffy, he makes one huge last request, which is a Whopper. But it seems Steffy agrees to see it through, as B&B spoilers suggest she's already started. As the Bold and Beautiful episodes roll along, Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, is on a death watch after a fatal diagnosis. So far, Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McKinswood, and Finn, Tanner Novlan, make up his support system, along with the doctors. That's because Liam refuses to tell anyone else about his fatal condition. Steffy battles with Liam over telling Hope Logan, Annika Noel, this week, but he isn't ready to tell Hope yet. Still, Steffy thinks she should be told. Steffy is the mom of Liam's oldest daughter, Kelly Spencer, Sophia Perez McKinley. And since Hope is the mom of his other daughter, Beth Spencer, Jordan Lynn Areza, Steffy believes it is her right to know that Liam is dying. So, Steffy makes a case for telling Hope Logan on Bold and the Beautiful this week. Steffy tells Liam Spencer that knowing about his fate today gives her time to prepare herself for what is about to come. This way, she can be more prepared to help her daughter when she loses her father. But Liam isn't allowing Hope this time, and Steffy Forrester feels it's not fair to her. Bold and the Beautiful has Liam Spencer changing, both physically and with his mode of thinking. He got upset while talking to Steffy and grabbed his head in his hands, seemingly from pain. But he is also thinking about the legacy he wants to leave for the people he loves, especially his two daughters. He blames himself for the bad blood between Steffy Forrester and Hope Logan. Despite Steffy telling Liam that their problem goes much further than that, he believes he was the start of it all. So, for that reason, he wants Hope and Steffy to get along as the mothers of his two daughters. He thinks both these women would be a big support system to each other and his girls. So, he makes that request of Steffy, who jokingly suggests that's a big job. Steffy Forrester jokes on Bold and the Beautiful this week about Liam's request and how it won't be an easy feat. Liam laughs but lets Steffy knows how his diagnosis of death has changed his outlook on life. He thinks Steffy and Hope should bury their differences and concentrate on their kids. And believe it or not, Steffy does too. They can support each other, as both girls will be left fatherless. He's also pushing Hope back into Carter Walton's, Lawrence St. Victor arms, which confuses Steffy, as she thinks Hope is the mastermind behind the FC takeover. But Liam's words to Steffy get her thinking. He suggests everyone makes mistakes, and he sees the spark in Hope's eyes when she's with Carter. Today that light is dim, so he wants to see Hope find happiness again with the man she loves. Little does Liam know that despite thinking his request for Steffy and Hope to get along is a tough one for these ladies, Steffy is already in that mindset. We heard her tell Finn last week on Bold and Beautiful that the anger between her and Hope seems unimportant in the scope of things. So while Liam seems to think he's making almost an impossible request, it looks like Steffy is already working on it, as she tells Hope this week about Liam's diagnosis, despite his wishes not to. The Bold and the Beautiful previews have a very emotional Steffy telling a stunned Hope what is going on with Liam. So, it looks like Steffy took the ball and ran with it, which indicates Liam Spencer is about to get two loving caretakers when things go downhill. That is, if B&B doesn't throw in a last-minute miracle. The California sun shimmered over the Forrester estate, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch into the tangled lives of the fashion elite. Inside the cliffside house, Steffy Forrester stood at the window, watching the waves crash beneath her. Her world, once as predictable as the tides, now trembled like loose stitches on a couture gown. She heard the door open softly behind her. "Liam," she said without turning. She knew his steps, the familiar rhythm of guilt, hesitation, and longing. "Hey," Liam said. His voice was hoarse, ragged, not like himself. She turned then, and froze. He looked different, gaunt, pale. His green eyes were sharp but dimmed by something more than fatigue. "Liam," she whispered, rushing to him. "What is it? What's wrong?" He gave a small smile. "It's not going to be easy to say, and I hate that I'm bringing this to you." Her heart skipped, but I had to. She'd known him long enough to sense the prelude to catastrophe. "I've been diagnosed," he said quietly, "with a rare aggressive condition. Terminal. Months, maybe weeks." Time stopped. The room went silent except for the roaring surf below. "No," she said automatically, shaking her head. "No, you're young, healthy. This can't. There's got to be a mistake." "I've seen 4 doctors," he said. "The same verdict every time." Her knees buckled slightly. He caught her instinctively, their bodies fitting together in a way time had never quite unraveled. "I'm not afraid to die, Steffy," he murmured, "but I can't go without asking you for something." A request, of course. There was always a request. But this wasn't like the others. This wasn't asking to borrow Kelly for a weekend, or asking her to forgive him for the 100th betrayal. This wasn't a tear-stained plea for another chance. This was his dying wish. And it hit her like a rogue wave. "I want you," he said slowly, "to marry me." She blinked. "You, what?" "I want to die as your husband. I want to spend whatever time I have left with you and Kelly. Not in a hospital bed, alone, but in a home. Our home. I want to feel like I'm still part of something, that I mattered." The words crashed into her harder than any truth she'd ever faced. "You can't mean that," she whispered. "You're with Hope. You have Beth. This isn't fair to them." "I've spoken to Hope. She knows, she understands. We both agreed that in the end, where my heart truly lies is with you." Tears welled in her eyes, not from sadness alone, but fury. Not again. Not this eternal triangle, this carousel of emotion. But now there was no time to unravel the knots. "You're asking me to pretend that everything you've done, every time you ran back and forth, didn't happen. You want to write a fairy tale ending when the chapters were chaos." "No," he said. "I want to make things right. In the only way I still can." She turned from him, arms wrapped around herself like armor. "You don't get to die in peace just because you're scared of dying alone," she snapped. "That's not love, Liam. That's desperation." He was silent, then said softly, "Maybe it is, but even desperate men are allowed one last hope." The silence between them thickened. Memories rushed in, nights of passion, days of betrayal, the birth of their daughter, the war waged in whispered promises and broken hearts. "I'm tired, Steffy," he said, voice cracking. "I've lived 2 lives trying to keep everyone happy, but with you, I was alive." She turned. "Do you remember what you said the last time you left me?" He winced. "I said I'd always love you, but I wasn't in love with you anymore. And now I see the truth. I've always been in love with you. I just didn't have the courage to accept it. And now I'm out of time." Steffy closed her eyes. The storm inside her brewed harder than the one over the ocean. She thought of Kelly, of giving her father his last days surrounded by love. She thought of the life they could build, short though it may be. And she thought of the damage. "Does Ridge know?" she asked quietly. "I haven't told him." "Your father?" "No." "Then you're putting all of this on me." "I didn't come here for obligation," he said. "I came because when I close my eyes at night, you're the last person I see. And if I get to choose how I leave this world, I choose to leave it by your side." For a moment, the world held its breath. Steffy stepped forward, her fingers reaching for his. His hand was cold, not metaphorically, truly cold. Are you in pain? She asked suddenly. Not yet, but it's coming. Her throat tightened. You'll need someone to take care of you, she said. I just need you to be there, he replied. She looked into his eyes. For once, there were no games, no agendas, just truth, raw, naked, unpolished. Finally, she said, if I say yes, it's not because I've forgotten everything. It's because I want your daughter to see what grace looks like, even in pain. And because love, real love, doesn't keep score. He fell to his knees, overcome, and pressed his forehead to her hand. Thank you, he whispered. But, she said firmly, I will not be your redemption story. I will be your reality. You will face everything honestly, with me. No running, no lies. And when it's time, you will let go. He nodded, tears trailing down his face. Outside, the waves no longer sounded like rage, they sounded like release. And as the sun began to set, casting golden hues across their entwined fingers, Steffy whispered to the wind, let this be the last chapter, and let it be worth reading.